Good evening. Good evening, one and all. Lovely to see you.
European champion,
I thought,
so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't trigger that were. It didn't register with me that was Jose's voice, and I thought I was getting a sound back loop thingy. What's it? And getting very, very confused. How is everyone this fine Monday evening? I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. And before I say hello to everyone, I first want to say an even bigger hello to the glorious, the wonderful, the incredible, the United City FM. Kev raiding in before I'd even started like the gentleman I am. Now, if you guys aren't following Kev, that is a darn shame, because Kev is a true gentleman of the scene. And like, I know that I've shouted him out already before, but it looks like I'm not capable of shouting out again because I can't spell. So let's do this. Like, go and once I spell things correctly, there should be a lovely little pop-up coming up at some point, or not. It's still not working for me. There we go. Let's try third time lucky. Otherwise, I am probably just doing something very, very stupid. That says shout out. That says the United City FM. No, it's not letting me. It's not letting me. So you scroll back up through the chat, find the United City FM, click on his name, click away from my stream right now. Do it. And go and give that man a follow if you're not already, because he is absolutely wonderful afternoon viewing. The perfect thing to put on during the day, get you in the mood for some evening FM, and some evening FM is what we've got coming up. So in a short while, I will be taking us through a little bit of a recap, partly to help me out, because it's been 10 days. Obviously, I've been off for the last week. Some generic fever. I have absolutely no idea what it is. I'm going to claim that it's COVID because that sounds dramatic, but it was probably just the flu and I'm pathetic. It's been 10 days since I've streamed and I'm a little bit out of the loop myself. So let's say hello. Let's say hello properly, because we have RJ in after a day on the farm. As I've said in chat, I don't know how you have the energy to stay awake. Like, I'd be coming in, I'd be hitting the hay immediately. That was no pun intended, but no pun intended. I'm quick and I'm witty like that. That was 100% intentional. We have Blue Lions, who's in a very, very good mood because Chelsea are on the cusp of Champions League qualification at the expense of my beloved Villa. I mean, Villa, it's their own doing. It's the bad form earlier on the season that means that we are really on the outside looking in, and that's absolutely fine. We have some glorious raiders in with us. We have the king of skins himself, Sasmaz, is in. Welcome in, Sas. Lovely to see you. We've got Busy Baron in as well. Thank you very much for the follow, my dude. We've got a little bit of GNG as well. How are you, sir? How was your weekend? We have Kev, obviously. We obviously have Kev in. It's lovely to see you all. We've also got a little bit of Jabbits, a little bit of Zeratrol as well. We've got some pixelated suits in, Colombia's finest. Well, I mean, now that I'm older and more mature, I can say that you're Colombia's finest. Go back like 10 years ago, I was calling something else entirely Colombia's finest, and that probably isn't a thing that I should linger on. Sometimes I should think about maybe adding a little bit of a filter in before I say the words out loud that my heads are yeah, I've definitely got to do a little bit more thinking right now, that's for sure. Welcome in, Yiga, as well, over on YouTube. Lovely to see you, my dude. How was your weekend? Sasman says, man flu is no joke. Men have died with us. Exactly. It's not a silent killer, actually. Even though I live on my own, I was making sure that if my neighbours were even remotely close to the walls, they could hear me moaning out and claiming that it was the end of the world. Oh, we've got Brazilian Fury in as well. How are you doing, my dude? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you, my man. Men have died for complaining about man flu to wives. Exactly. Colombia's finest, eh? That's the end of the stream. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Juan Pablo. Thank you, GNG. That's what I was talking about. Juan Pablo Angel is Colombia's finest. That was exactly what I was talking about. Draw's in as well. Welcome in, Draw. Lovely to see you, my dude. I'm doing okay. Still a little bit under the weather, but nowhere near as bad as I've been the last week. And I'm just really, really excited to be back streaming again. I've missed you all. And talking of missing things, let's have a little round of a mini game, shall we? Because RJ has redeemed a mystery mini game, and the question is, do we go in for something? No, we'll stick to the normal flow. Guess the player is a strong opening mini game. It's a good way to warm us all up to the FMness. So here we go. Let's explain the rules for those that don't know. It's really simple. You're going to see 4 pictures from a player's profile in FM24, one after the other. Your job is to guess who that player is. You're going to see the positions they play in, their attributes, their coaching report, and the clubs that they played for. Unfortunately, it's not the person who's currently appearing on your screen, because that would be a little bit too easy, and it would allow people to guess whilst I'm explaining the rules to those that don't know. So in a moment, I'm going to go on over to the first clue. Let's get our guesses in. Now, we have got some guesses coming in. Blue Lions has a feeling that it might have a Crystal Palace link. He's gone for Eze, he's gone for Ward, and he's gone for Henderson, which is a bold take. I mean, Eze would be the choice one, or maybe Mateta. And it's clearly neither of those. It's El Pibe. It is not El Pibe. Valderrama. What Scandinavian will it be this time? Oh, Zeratul, you know me too well. We have a centre-back here. A right-footed centre-back who's quite good on their left foot. They can play pretty much anywhere in those first 2 strata as well. I mean, doesn't look particularly great as a wing-back or a central midfielder. But, you know, someone who could be all right. So could it be Benjamin Pavard? Or Maxence Lacroix, or Jan Orel Bissek. Some fine guesses coming in there. Could it be Zeno de Bast? I would love it to be Zeno de Bast. Unfortunately, I think in FM he can only play as a centre-back and like a little bit in defensive midfield. I might be wrong on that, but they've definitely done him a little bit dirty on FM24. Could it be Francesco Acerbi, or Mark Gay, or Joe Gomez, or Chris Richards, or Acerbi? Pavard, another guess coming in again for that, and Mukiele. There are some very, very fine guesses. And now, I have to say, I'm just looking back through it now, and I see that Jabbits has guessed Chris Richards, whilst Blue Lions has guessed every other Crystal Palace player out there. So if it turns out to be Chris Richards, Blue Lions is going to be hitting himself, which would be really, really unfair. So he's gone for Dean Huyson, also a nice topical one as well. We've got Lengley in there as well. Good one. Musterman, welcome in, Benny. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you, sir? Could it be Mandy? Now, let's move on to the next clue, because we've been on this for a little while. And actually, whilst we're at this next clue, let's possibly move to the clue after that. And the clue after that. Because it is a Crystal Palace player. Not just is it a Crystal Palace player, but it's Jabbits who's got the 5 points. It's Jabbits who's got... Poor Blue Lions, man. I genuinely feel bad for you there, man. Oh, that is a rough start to things for sure. My word, that is incredible work from Jabbits. Picking up on the American defender at Crystal Palace, Chris Richards, born in Birmingham, Alabama, as they mentioned multiple times on Saturday, and now an FA Cup winner. Fabulous work there, guys. It's a strong start. It is a strong start you get. A very, very strong start. Right, shall we head on over to the game then? Let's see whereabouts we are. And I've got a little confession to make whilst we do this, because part of the preparing for this stream meant that I did actually play some games off stream. Not directly in this save. I played the game that we're going to play next and the game afterwards, just to kind of remind us of what my issues were. I didn't change anything tactically. And I won the first game of the stream 6-0, the second game of the stream 4-1. So watch as we play these games again for what will essentially be the second time and lose them. Because that's the way that the luck modifier works. You play really well, you close the game down, you load it back up, and suddenly you're punished. So here we are. This is the lie of the land. We are currently in second. We are 4 points adrift of Internazionale. Our form has been rocky, I think would probably be be best to say. We had a horrendous 6-1 defeat on stream last time against Napoli. Now, for those of you that are into your muster lore, you will know that we did the speed run Pentagon challenge for Gamers Forgiving a month or so back, where one of the teams we took over was Napoli, and we got sacked after a 6-1 defeat to Milan. So there was something so beautifully poetic over the fact that we faced that same scoreline. It was brutal, it was tough, but we grounded out 2 wins, 1-0 against Empoli and Fiorentina before I started to really feel quite unwell. And so that's kind of put us back on track. We've had a pretty decent run up until that point. We weren't worried about the Coppa Italia. We didn't play a full strength team. But here we are. We're 1 point ahead of Lazio in third with a game in hand. 4 points behind Inter. There are still 14 games to go though. So if we can keep the pressure on, we should be all right. We should be all right. But you never know. We have a huge game against Inter Milan coming up at the end of March. We've got otherwise a relatively okay run. An away game against Atalanta, an away game against Lazio. But otherwise, we've got most of the traditional bigger teams out the way now. So hopefully we can put together a run. And to put together that run, we're going to be leaning on an almost fully available squad. We've got 4 players here who all have injuries for like the next couple of days. So they're going to miss the first game against Torino. But otherwise, we don't have any excuses. I mean, we do have excuses. Those excuses largely centre around us being a little bit rubbish. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Jabet says, got to say you thought Richards was pretty good in the FA Cup final as a side note. He warmed into the game. I thought Richards was pretty poor in that first half. I thought that he was very slow to step up and support Munoz when Doku was getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side. And maybe that's deliberate because you know that even if Doku can beat a man, he can't cross or shoot. So you might as well just leave him be. But in the second half, where there was a lot more action happening in the box itself, I thought Rich was sensational. Munoz was a man possessed. He really was. What an incredible game. I called it in the Discord as well. I said that Munoz was my man of the match. I think he did win it in the end as well. Obviously, it helped getting the assist, the disallowed goal. He made that sensational tackle on, block/tackle on O'Reilly when O'Reilly should have scored late in that second half. Just a great performance all round. RJ didn't even get sacked after the Napoli disaster. I know, it's a shocker. We should have been sacked after that. All right, we're going to head straight into the game. So we're not going to fill out the bench. These guys, no point in risking them, which means Xerxes comes into the starting lineup. Now, actually, what I am thinking of is having a variant which would be something like this as well. So we keep the false 9, but we have inside forwards as a possibility as well. So we maintain that diamond with Thior stepping up into midfield, Benato dropping, and they're still going to be our goal threats. Pardon me, not to start the games because Xerxes, Elena, Kana aren't players that can play out wide. But if we're looking to bring on players like Fatawu or Carmona during the game, Benato can play out wide. Certainly better that than as a striker. And we'll see how it goes from there. So right, yeah, let's head into the game. Jabets agreed, absolutely got gut-busting run for the assist. The assist was so beautiful, wasn't it? Oh, the Crystal Palace goal just in general was so beautiful. Lovely. Like, they call it a counter-attack. It came from a bloody goal kick. You can't call that a counter-attack. It was a wonderful move. They created the space. They burst into it. A beautiful ball. Great timing on the run from Eze. A really clean connection. Just chef's kiss. All right, let's have faith in those two and let's see how things go. Now, I am, for risk of things, I'm going to drop down to key highlights because I'd like to try and get through, I'd like to survive this season. I think if we finish second, we should be all right. But I really want to get to the summer so that we can get rid of, generally speaking, all these players I'm relatively unhappy with. Here we go. Here's a highlight for Torino. It's Pedrolo Estanis with a lovely touch. Sends the cross in. Macho Retegui. He's the league's top scorer, I think, for a reason. And that's exactly... Just a reminder, guys, I did play this game off stream beforehand and we won 6-0. Just to put it out there. There's a low cross. Loads of men in that 6-yard box. None of the defenders react. Retegui does what Retegui does best. It's a nice finish. It's 1-0 now to Torino. Imagine if Henderson had been given player of the match. I mean, that's also the other reason why Munoz had to get player of the match, right? And then, off the butt. It's a great save. A sensational save. I guess that Xerxes offside, though, would have ruled it out. I think that Munoz partly had to get man of the match because you can't, knowing that Henderson should have been sent off, they couldn't give him man of the match. That would have just been fueling fire, surely. Pixelate Suits, you're excited to see how they build for Europa next year. It should be interesting, especially under Glasner. Exactly. Banato hits the post again. Oh no, we're back, lads. We are back. Oh my, I'm going to be down. I'm going to break down into tears within 20 minutes of this stream starting. Here's Elena Kana. That's better. That is better. Hey, Elena Kana. Hi. Oh, a little word. For some reason, my soundboard dock, the lovely little thing that I have in OBS to run all the shitty little songs, isn't working for some reason today. I only discovered it just before the stream started, so I haven't had a chance to troubleshoot. So you are spared my awful singing. Well, no. You're spared the recorded awful singing. I will just do it out loud instead. I think, but no, what you're saying, Pixelated Suits, exactly. I think it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, they had a disruptive summer last year, losing Elise, losing Anderson. They managed to keep hold of Gay and Eze, which was absolutely fantastic. But being in Europa next season, it'll be really interesting to see if they can build and still keep some of those players around, because obviously there's a lot of speculation around Mateta, Eze, Munoz, especially that they could be off. Maybe European football might see them want to stick around for at least another season, and that could be really interesting, a chance for them to properly build, potentially. Yeah, we'll stick with things as they are for the time being. We have been the better team by a considerable distance, but we have once again conceded their only chance, and that's a massive chance. It was a tap in from 4 yards out, right? So you can't even say that they didn't deserve to score that chance. Here's Bafundi, sends it across to Xerxes. It's going to be that Theo gets there, finds Theo to Elena Kana. He has to go back to Beraldo. Theo to Bove. We're being crowded out, but we found Bafundi. He sends the cross in. Elena Kana rises, heads it over the bar. It's time to lose 4-0. It feels like it. It feels like it, right? Right. I think we are making the changes. Oh, okay. So we don't have a right back because Balieri's out injured. That means we're going to bring Carmona on the right. Yeah, let's switch this round now. I'm going to put Xerxes up front. Going to make it still keep with the trequartista because I love the trequartista. We'll get him to sit narrower. Elena Kana can't play out wide. Elena Kana's not a false 9 either. But he's going to play as a false 9. Let's see how that goes. And then I think we'll give it 10 minutes or so and then look to up the tempo perhaps. John, sir, welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. You haven't missed much. There hasn't been a stream for 10 days or so because I've been a little bit unwell. And this is kind of what it's been like prior to that. We have games where we dominate and don't win. This could see us drop potentially 6 points behind. Unless Carmona does that! I am Milani. I can't remember, what was it? Milani Rossoneri. That's what it is. That's what it is. Diego Carmona coming off the bench, playing as a right wing back. Vataru, the corner taker, gets tackled. Carmona reacts, swings a foot at it. Maximiano probably feel like he should have saved it. It was reasonably close. Didn't have much time to react, but it wasn't a difficult chance. Right, so into the last 10 minutes. We've still got stoppages we can make, and I think we're going to bring off Theo because he's not been particularly great. And Benato's got a pretty rubbish rating as well. Who would I bring on? I would bring on Nico for Benato. I would put Carmona on that side, and I would probably Nico or Bove. Who do I feel is more? I feel like Bove is a little bit more secure defensively, so we'll hopefully go for that. It's the unplugged version of celebrations tonight. Exactly, G&G. Oh, welcome in, Inga. I like the way you play the game. Thank you for your works. I'm glad to hear it. I just, it's just the way I play. I'm glad that you enjoy it, my dude. Welcome in. How are you? How's your weekend? Who do you support as well? Are you a happy Galatasaray fan or an otherwise very, very disappointed Besiktas and Fenerbahce fan? Right, we got the win in the end. As a Villa fan, I'm very used to conceding the first shot on target. That is a thing that we have been notable for doing this season, but it still hurts every time, every single time. But we got the win. That's what's important. That brings us to within a point of Inter, who have a game in hand. Profundi's only out for a couple of days, which is fine. Get these guys rested up. And that does mean that we will have all of these players back for the next game as well, hopefully. The injuries during the week allowing, of course. So we'll see how it goes. So John said, it's been the same in your Hanover save tactic that won you the league and cup double. It's randomly stopped working. It's so frustrating, isn't it? So frustrating. Carmona's got, okay, that's all right. 32.5k. I can live with that kind of wage. It's when they get wage hikes up to 150k that's where I get a little bit salty. That's for sure. Saying you're a Galatasaray fan. So how beautiful was that moment with Muslera taking the penalty? He scored in his first ever season with the club. 14 years or something now, is it? And then scores in his final game. How sensational is that? George is in. Welcome in, George. How you doing, my man? How's your weekend? And Mr. Echo as well. Gamma Joba, Mr. Echo. How are you, sire? Have you recovered from Georgia not making it to the finals of the Eurovision Song Contest? I listened to it. I thought the song was okay. I mean, I think there were worse songs that made it to the final. And she's a very, very pretty lady, to be fair, as well. So I was a bit shocked. I thought that those two things alone would probably have been enough for them to make it. Right, yeah, under 18 staff. So one of the things I did do off stream was organise a load of friendlies for under 20s. So one of the big issues that we have in Italy is that the reserve games or the under 20 games are generally speaking on the same day or virtually the same day as Serie A games, which means that the reserve player, our fringe players don't get game time. So it's really, really hard to keep them fresh. I should have been a bit more active on that earlier on in the season, but by having these arranged now, we can hopefully get some of our fringe players up to fitness as well and be able to help us in this run-in potentially. What do I think about Turkish football? I think that I'll be honest, Enya. So I quite liked Turkish football when you had teams like, in years you had like Trabzonspor being competitive. You've had years with Gençlerbirliği, with Adana Demirspor. I've always liked it when there's been teams that kind of upset the big three. I do think it does get a little bit boring when it's always Galatasaray winning, then maybe Fenerbahce once every 8 or 10 years, Besiktas occasionally. I want variety, and Turkish football does struggle a little bit in variety. Mr. Echo doesn't give a Putin on Eurovision. She is a pro-government lady, so no one really wanted her to win. Fair enough. Fair enough. So George had an okay weekend, but at college today, put in the performance of Darwin Núñez with 9 shots. So I missed 9 shots, and that ain't a joke. Ooh, oh dear. Oh dear. I mean, but why do people still love Darwin Núñez? It's the trying that counts. It's the trying that counts, and a man bun. You need to try, and you need to have a man bun, and those two things combined, I think, are just about all right. So, Mr. Echo, thing that bothers me more is you have your first flight in your life in 1 week. I want to know if I'm able to watch your stream offline so I can chill and pass time. It's a very good question. I have no idea about how that would work. I think like YouTube has a feature for it, but I think you probably have to pay to like download the videos to watch offline. I have no idea beyond that though. Where are you flying to, Mr. Echo, and how are you feeling about it? So Benny and Zappolo both say that's every league though. I mean, you say that's every league, but that's what I mean is there's been variety. It's been brilliant in recent years in the Eredivisie that we've had Feyenoord win, PSV win, because it's broken that monopoly. Seeing Ajax struggle, even if it's the same teams that are normally around there, seeing Ajax struggle has been really, really nice. Seeing Man City not win the league has been really, really nice. It's in some ways it's a shame that it's Liverpool who've done it because they obviously won it most recently, but also Liverpool haven't been a team that have consistently challenged for the title. So in a weird way, they're kind of like, it's obviously not Leicester levels of upset, but coming into this season, no one expected them to run away with it as they have. Granted, they've been helped a little bit by every other team being truly, truly awful. But yeah, like I think that there's been, we almost had a season where PSG didn't win Ligue 1. Well, no, we did have seasons where PSG didn't win Ligue 1, which has been great. We've obviously had Leverkusen upset things in Germany recently, and it's those seasons, those individual seasons are absolutely brilliant. It's a shame, and it's the exact same thing. It's what I'm saying with Turkish football is I've enjoyed the seasons where there's been upsets within those areas, which there hasn't. It's been close-ish, but not really close. Not really close, let's be honest. Right, I'm going to give Ruggeri the start against Atalanta. We're going to play a 4-3-3, and let's see how we get on. So, George, all open net, I'll add. Oh dear. France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, England, Scotland, Croatia, all the same way. I mean, Belgium, again, not necessarily the same. Again, you've got the upstarts of Union. You had like the Antwerp won it recently as well, which is a really, really nice change. Scotland, I'll definitely grant you that. So Samsunspor will play in Europe. They just promoted from the lower division last season. That's cool. That is very cool. Welcome in the Ace. I've been taking a lot of inspiration from your Moneyball series. I have one question. How many players per position would you recommend? Are you talking about in a squad or clarify a little bit. What do you mean by how many players per position? So Enger agrees. Turkish football is going backwards, but I think teams like Samsunspor will cover the past soul of the Antalya teams. I hope so. Right, we'll go with that one again. I mean, granted, I'm complaining about the same results happening each time, and I am doing the same things each time when it comes to the start of games. So, you know, probably a lot of this is on me. So YouTube does, but you can only download it 360 quality for free. More is only premium. You're flying to Czechia, going for work there. Awesome. Whereabouts in Czechia are you going? I am so in love with Prague. An incredible city, a wonderful music scene as well. Right, 11 minutes in. This is where we conceded in the last game. And the highlight starts with Atalanta. We win the ball. Bove under pressure, sends it long. Xerxes was the target. Comes though to Elena Kane. Plays it back to Beraldo, across to Bove. We've got Profundi over. Profundi sends a weird little cross in. Xerxes with a header that was never ever going to cause any problems. Oh, pardon me. Oh, that hasn't fired either. Traction, thank you very much for the subscription, my dude. Welcome in, my dude. Bless you very much. 5 months is absolutely crazy. Much appreciated. I was having problems with some stuff in OBS earlier with the soundboard. It looks like we might also have some problems with the subscription alert as well. Isn't that marvellous? Hey, and we've got a goal, which means I need to sing because of the soundboard. Milan è rossoneri. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan è rossoneri. I can't take that away from me. And I guess that means I've got to do the subscription alert as well. So it's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How can you measure somebody that could balance a balloon on a needle in a wind tunnel? Thank you very much, Adam. I now need to drink because my... Milan, it wasn't Harry. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan, it wasn't Harry. I can't take that away from me. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember any more of the song. Thank God. Thank God. So Lille winning was class. It was indeed. Guess 16 clubs as winners in the last 20 years. What is the league? I'm guessing Benny. That's probably going to be the MLS. Because why else would you raise it? Right, that's good. We faced one shot on target and we didn't concede. That is progress. 2 goals from 7 shots is probably a little bit flattering, but we certainly not going to complain in that regard. And so let's just head into the second half, and then possibly we'll look to drop the tempo a little bit more. We're on standard, but let's keep an eye on what happens in these first 15-20 minutes or so. Right, it is a highlight starting with us building up deep, which can mean it could mean a turnover, or it could mean that Profundi is away. Profundi with a low cross. Elena Kena. Elena Kena. Elena Kena. Elena Kena. Elena Kena. Hey, I definitely don't know the words to that one. Let's be honest. I did write something specifically about Elena Kena as well, but my memory is completely gone. So Brazil's league is pretty diverse. 12 big teams is insane. That's a good shout. That is a good shout as well. So Polish league has had some variety in winners, says Nicola. Fine shout. We do have some advocates. I know that we do have a couple of strong advocates for the Polish league in chat every now and then. I don't think DMB's around at the moment, but he would absolutely be on that for you. As Profundi with a double. Okay, this was a game we won 4-1 when I was playing earlier, so it looks like this result I can be quite happy with. It's Ruggiero. We started him instead of Theo. He plays it back to Beraldo. Gets the 1-2, pokes it in at the far post, and there the Afro Profundi, pardon me, rising with a header at the far post. 4-0 is very, very flattering. GNG says the final day of Serie A will be a great watch. Won't it just? I hope Napoli, well, I don't know. I kind of want Napoli to be drawing come, say, the last 10 minutes and Inter to be winning. So, oh my bloody hell. That was a rather nice goal now, wasn't it? That's definitely got to be on vertical scrolling. Caliendo. Oh, that was pretty sweet. Let's be fair. I can't moan about that. Oof. Banger. Exactly, Enga. Oh my word, says you get. I mean, wow. What a goal. Traction. Sorry, I did miss your comments earlier. Even good sir in chat, hope you're well. I am doing all right. It's lovely to see you, my dude. How are you? How was the stream yesterday as well? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. But specifically, I saw the notification after it had ended because I'm rubbish at checking Discord. So I do apologise, my dude. Right, let's go. Let's see this. Try and see this out with this setup. So that can be. Whilst he's coming off, let's bring on Nico as well. And here we go with a corner, Ruggieri. Right, sends it across to Nico, but gets it back again. Ruggieri sends it to the far post, and there's no chance from that, unfortunately. So, Ace, in the squad planner, you have 11 positions. How many players per those positions would you recommend? So, the Ace, I'm actually going to be talking about squad composition in the next Everton video, which will hopefully be on Thursday. But generally speaking, I tend to prefer a small squad. I prefer a squad of around 18 senior players and then youth players that maybe can step up if you really, really need to. At which point, I'm generally looking at, like centre-backs, I'm looking at... Turksy hits the post. At centre-backs, I'm looking at like 3 centre-backs, 1 for each starting spot, and then a good quality backup. And I tend to think of it the same in terms of like if I'm playing a 4-3-3, I've got five midfielders, right? 1 defence midfielder, 2 central midfielders. I look for 5 players across those as Balieri. Balieri comes on to replace Pafundi, and that is 3 goals for our right backs. Milan Rossoneri. Can't take that away from me. Ow. It's Beraldo who's pushing forwards. Then Balieri comes to the rebound. First time volley into the far corner. It's 5-1. There's no point making a substitution. That's, in fact, the end of the game. There we go. So yeah, but otherwise, I think people that like to work with bigger squads, 2 per position kind of makes sense. And then if you've got a squad of 25, maybe a third choice goalkeeper. If you've got a position like striker, if you play with only 1 striker, having a third striker can be useful, because if you get one of your 2 injured, you then don't have a backup. Right, 5-1 is a good result. That is much better. That is much, much better. And the goal we conceded was an absolute worldie. So we're in exactly the same spot. Inter still have a game in hand. Elena Kano is out for 2 weeks, which is a bit of a shame. So I think that if we have Fatawu in, Fatawu would end up being as an advanced forward there. Let's get these guys rested up. Training, rest. Let's get these guys playing in the reserve game. For 60 minutes, goalkeeper for the full 90. And then we progress forward there. Blockbuster, welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow, my dude. Lovely to see you. And Benny says that Prague is a gem within Europe. Hands down, one of the best cities in the world. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Oh, God, make it stop. Okay, that's... With that far behind, I'm just about getting to the chat, I assume, where I started singing. I can only guess that was... and it was MLS. There we go. There we go. So, did we already discuss the Inter and Napoli drama yesterday? Had to leave stream for a moment. Mr. Echo, we haven't. And even if we did, you're always welcome to talk about things that we've talked about before, because, you know, people come and go. So that's absolutely fine. Does anyone know the words to the Macarena? So, Benny, I don't, but I did. Because when writing my Elena Kena song, I deliberately looked up the words to make sure that I was actually getting the right syllabic beats. Not that I remember any of it. Not that I remember any of it. Chromo says, hey, your message has been is being checked by mods and has not been sent. How ironic that is. I wonder who's going to moderate that. Indeed, Crudmod. Indeed, Crudmod. How are you doing, sir? Let's see. I don't get that in. It didn't like you saying muster MILFs. And the reason it says is misogyny. That's what I've always said about you, Crudmo. I've said that bloody bloody misogynistic Crudmo. Always being misogynistic. Welcome in. Welcome in. Your timing for that absolute banger of a goal was quite good. Quite good, I must say. So you're not too bad. Glad you're well. Thank you very much, my dude. Are we winning, son? You're back from a shower. Not now you're falling asleep. We are winning, RJ. Shockingly, we conceded to the first shot against Torino, went 1-0 down, but turned it around, got a late winner, and then absolutely spanked Atalanta 5-1, which is all right. Which is all right. Hungerman says we're cooking. 3-4-3 is the superior formation in FM. It looks that way. I mean, the 3-4-3 did also see us lose 6-1 to Napoli. And we did lose 3-0 in the Supercoppa Italiana final. But other than that, it's been all right. We played the 4-4-2 diamond for the defeat against Sassuolo. So we can't blame that one on the 3-4-3, that's for sure. And so Yigit goes for 20 senior players, 5 youngsters should be on your squad. No more, no less. Very, this is the way it must be. So Mr. Echo, you've started a new save in La Liga 2 with Ibar, with motivation in mind that if you could replicate Hansi Flick's playing style, it's going pretty good so far. I really enjoyed watching highlights and analysing matches. It's a shame that I had to leave it behind in a week, but I'll get my FM dose from Musterman. You will indeed. I mean, you say you're in Czechia for work. Surely work need to issue you with a work laptop, one that's good enough to be able to play a little bit of FM. Just move the save over. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So RJ says, you just saw a quote from Jokic after the defeat last night. For the moment, I'll just drink beers. I mean, that is very much on brand for him. Let's be fair. That is very on brand. Blockbuster, so you started an FM12 save with Liverpool. Just a short-term one for fun. A fine choice. So why? What I'd say a fine choice. What drew you to FM12 rather than say one of the other ones? I think was there a change in? When did 3D come in? I feel like there was like a big momentous change in maybe around FM13. I can't remember 100% though. Also, I do apologise. So when I seem to have things slightly the wrong way round with these chat overlays. So let's see if I can pop this up there, and that will sort something out. Got some weird stuff there. Gotta love the theme. I really shouldn't have done that, because I should have the theme would have still played even if I had the draw going on in the background, which is what I should have done. I should have moved the draw on so it was doing that whilst the theme played out. But you know, pro streamer and all that nonsense. All a little bit rubbish on my behalf. I do apologise. So 3D was 09. Fair enough. 2012 retro. 2012 is retro, isn't it? I think retro, I think technically is above 10 years, right? So I think there are some arguments as to whether it starts at 10 years or 15 years. Obviously, antique is 100 years, and there's various delineations across the way. But yeah, definitely retro. Bloody misogyny, always after you. She is indeed. I haven't been paying attention to the draw. I don't know what's actually happened. We haven't been drawn yet. That's all right. So we don't want. I don't mind Sociedad. This would be quite nice. Come on, Sociedad. Yeah, boom. There we go. I pay attention briefly for a moment, and what I want happens. That's what we needed. Right, let's advance to the end. Here we go. Here is the draw. Inter have Benfica. That's a nice draw for them. Arsenal against Atletico Madrid should be quite fun. the German tie of RB Leipzig against Bayern, the Spanish tie of Real Madrid versus Barcelona, spicy, Man United Valencia, Leverkusen Man City, Napoli Paris Saint-Germain. I think we got a good draw out of that. I think we can be, which means we're now going to be knocked out like 5-0 on aggregate. Almost certainly. Almost certainly. Pardon me. So Mr. Echo says you're going to work on construction. You'll bring your save with you on a flash drive in case you can buy one there. It's a good idea, actually. You need something to relax after the day, for sure. For sure. So Benny says the 3-4-3 diamond you run when you need a goal is incredible. Running it in FM14, barbarians at the gates kind of attack. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Right, now, as many of you will have noticed, I am rubbish at keeping up with chat, so I do apologise. If I miss stuff, feel free to pop it in chat again as well. Please, please do. All right, so Blockbuster, you first got into FM when your dad showed me his FM14 save, had a bunch of world-class regens, and I started in 2019. That's quite cool. So this is is this now your first experience of FM12 then? So you're going back and seeing the games that your dad was playing in the past as well. Awesome. That's awesome. Dim Bassist is in. Welcome in, my dude. Lovely to see you. How are you, sir? How are you? We were talking just a little bit earlier about your love of Polish football in FM, and then you arrived. It's almost like fate. So Zerichel saying 15 years for retro. Crudmo saying 13 years. Or you can use man's memory. It's 2 years. That's a fair shout. Anything. You see, I've got this weird thing where I can't remember stuff from like 3 years ago, but also it's still 2028, like 2020 in my head as well. So I don't know if anything between like 2 and 5 years actually has happened. I think it's all fake. None of it exists. That's the basis I kind of work on. Right, so we know we've got these players missing, but otherwise we're all good. Fataru. Yeah, we need somebody who's a threat in behind with Xerxes and Liao. So I think we just stick with what's going right for us. But before that, we actually have a break coming up in a couple of minutes. So what I'll do is I'll do the normal thing. I'll bring that forwards a couple of minutes so that we're not just waiting around to then head on into the game. Let's catch up a little bit on chat though as well, whilst I actually possibly can. Yes, Real Sausage Dad, the team who played the worst football against Man United this season. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a repeat of such European incompetence. So DM Bassist Dad is Steve Nicol. My word. Now that is a claim. Real Madrid will cry again if they lose against Barcelona, blaming everybody but them. That's the true sign of a champion. Just look at Twitter. If you look at fans of top teams on Twitter, them losing games is never their fault. So, you know, Real Madrid are just setting the standard that everyone else follows, which is all good. So Blockbuster, it is your first FM12 experience. Awesome. Now, I can't remember. FM12 is the one with the red logo, right? If it's the red logo, I think that was the one where big target strikers were best. Or certainly for me, I seem to remember FM12 was big target strikers, FM30 was pacey strikers. That's the way round I remember it. So DM Bassist fucking loves Polish football in FM. See, there we go. That's what we were talking about. Right, okay. Let's do the advert thing. I'll see you guys in like 3 to 4 minutes. Right, we're back. We're back. And the most important thing is that RJ has just asked people whether he should post new baby cow pics, and he most definitely should. But I also want you to we've now got a little poll running up. Should we force RJ to post baby cow pictures to Discord daily? They don't need to be new cows each time, just a different cow picture every day. I think it's only reasonable. So get your opinions out there in the poll as we head into the no, we don't head into the next game. We head into a mystery mini game. So let's do that, and we are going to head on over. Oh, Crodmo's here, isn't he? Let's bring back one of Crodmo's favourite games, shall we? So here we go. We don't have just Player Smash this time around. We've got a selection of word-based games coming around. There are 5 possible answers coming up. Some of the players are going to be a Player Smash. Some of them are just going to be straightforward anagrams. So I'll explain how it works before I reveal the clues for each of them. So Player Smash, you get 2 clues. 1 clue for one player, 1 clue for a second player. The last letter of the first player's surname are the same letters as the second player's surname. So for the example here, you might get a clue which will give you the answers Adam Mola Lukman and Sivert Manswerk. The end of Lukman is MAN, the beginning of Manswerk is MAN, so you merge those players together, cross those letters, and you get Lukmanswerk. We will also have, in between those, there'll be 3 player smashes. There's also going to be 2 anagrams. Now, an anagram is just a player's name all mashed up. You've just got to unscramble it. Unscramble the name, chuck your guesses in. Now, spelling does matter. When you get your guesses in, you do need to spell the player's name correct. Case, uppercase, lowercase, so all capital letters, all lowercase, a mixture, none of that matters. If a player's name has an accent in it, you can include the accent. You don't have to include the accent. It will pick it up either way. So let's head on over and see what today's clues are. So we have a player smash. We're looking for a Champions League winning Swiss midfielder and a Euros winning member of the European Parliament. We are looking for an anagram of vast bacon ramen. We're looking for a player smash, which is a Crystal Palace midfielder signed from PSG and a Crystal Palace winger signed from Swansea. We start now. And we're looking for an anagram of urbanised. And we're looking for a player smash of a Danish former Ajax wonderkid that didn't live up to the hype, and Lyon's knighted wonderkid. That is a player at Lyon who has a knighthood. So Hung De Min has gone for Dolberg Shirky. Now, so when with the player smash, the last letters of the first player's surname will be the same as the first letters of the second player's surname. So if we were doing that, maybe Berg would be the beginning of the Lyon wonderkid, or Chur might be the end of the Danish former Ajax wonderkid. And we have a correct guess coming in. Indeed, vast bacon ramen is an anagram of Marco van Basten. Beautiful work, DM Bassist. Beautiful work. Well, I'm going to take another drink. And whilst that was going on, it looks like we've got a pretty landslide going on with the RJ vote, where with 5 votes say yes, 0 votes say no. It looks like this is going to be your obligation from here on in, RJ. My throat does sound bad. It certainly is struggling. As I was saying at the top, I mean, I'm not 100%. That is for sure. The illness is still lingering, but hopefully we should be able to get through. Impossible, but okay, says RJ. Fair enough. So Zeratul has gone for a kanji. Is that your guess for the Champions League winning Swiss midfielder? Plakanji. Who would Placken? I'm not sure who Placken would be. So what clues can I give you about the first one? I will give you a clue that the Euros winning member of the European Parliament won the Euros in 2004. So DM Basis knows the second part of that one, but doesn't know the first. Fair enough. Well, I've just told I've just given a big hint to the second part of that one as well. What could we go for? Oh, there we go. RJ has picked up on Victor Fisher and Ryan Cherky, and FMG&G follows through with Johan Kabay and Jordan Ayew. Fabulous work, gents. Fabulous work. We are just looking for the anagram of urbanized. I can tell you that Urbanized is a Premier League player. That is their full name. So as we can see with Marco van Basten, it includes the first name. What clues can I give you for the first player that? Well, I can certainly tell you that he won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. Was it his only season there? No, he didn't win it with Bayern. He won it with Bayern Munich in the 2000-2001 season. And that was his second spell with Bayern Munich. In between that times, he played for Kaiserslautern 3 times. So we've gone for Xhaka Tsaranis. I love that. Xhaka Tsaranis. Sadly, it's not. So Krodmo is going for Schwarzer, but not with the second part of it. So who would be the second player that could go with Schwarzer? Maybe a player whose name begins with ZA, perhaps? Bekeaton's gone for Owen Hargreaves. Interesting. It's not Swiss, unfortunately. Carsten Youngster sadly isn't. There we go. We have got Sforzagorakis as the DM Basis pipped by Krodmo there indeed. But then considering DM Basis said he knew what the second part of it was, he was waiting for someone to say Sforza. Krodmo almost served it up on a plate there. So we've got one player remaining. We are looking for an anagram of urbanized. That is their full name. This is a Premier League defender. I could probably do some search. I can find some clues to push towards it as well. Now, obviously, they've got quite a short name. This is their first name and their surname. They previously played for Benfica. They have won the Nations League. There we go. Fuller FM coming in at the death there. It is indeed Ruben Dias. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I was quite satisfied to find a player who could fit into one word for an anagram. Right, that is some marvellous stuff. You went for Bruno Silva and then I meant Ruben Dias. Portuguese names are very similar. Indeed. Right. Let's head on into the game. And I am going to probably shut up for about 5 minutes and probably right, okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. How I'm going to do this is as such. I'm going to pop this bit on comprehensive highlights. I'm going to go and run and grab some water. And I almost return just in time to see us concede. Right, let's get that back onto key highlights. How has it been so far? I heard one cheer right near the beginning of the game, but haven't heard much else over there. We're struggling for the ball. So I think let's pop on round that way. Trequartista that we asked to stay narrower. See if we can get a little bit more control over the game, potentially. Welcome in, Jacko. How are you doing, my dude? How was your weekend? I'm all right, been a little under the weather. Still lingering a little bit there. So Profundi fucks one over the bar, bless him. And a crap effort from Menia. Hellas Verona's logo is such a weird one. It is indeed, the two mastiffs. Right, here's the corner, easily claimed by Rizzo. Let's get you to ease off tackles whilst you're on a yellow card. It is snowy in Milan, and we're in March. No, the end of February. I mean, still, even the end of February is quite late for it to be snowy, you would have thought. Right, can we do something in the last few moments of the half? Right, here's Suzuki. Oh, loads of players are booked. Why did I just focus on Ruggieri? I will sort that out at half-time. Profundi, though. He's going to find Fatawu. Fatawu loses out. Profundi sent it in. Liao's shot is blocked. That was a reasonable chance. It's a great block at the end there. We have got more control of the ball since we made those changes, which is good. We can kind of see it there. That's reasonable. So that does look like all the strikers are on top of one another as a result. I don't like what I've seen. Pardon me. I think we're going to bring on Nico here. We're going to tell Hisuki to ease off tackles. I don't want to change all my defenders. We're going to increase the tempo. And then we're going to tell them to keep going. And let's see if we can do better in this second half, hopefully. Night of Knees in. Welcome in, Night of Knee. How you doing, my dude? Being Portuguese, you disagree. Maybe it's because you're used to the names. That's fair. Hisuki with a goal. That'll do nicely. That'll do. Emiru Hisuki from the edge of the area. From Ruggieri's corner routine. It actually worked for change. It took a big old deflection off Gaetano. And Rizzo was unable to get down. But we have the lead. That is something we needed. Something we very, very much needed. Night and I think that Yigit was being light-hearted in his comment about Ruben Dias and Bruno Silva being very similar. Right, Nico's come on and picked up a yellow card, so he's going to move over into that role there and take tackle harder off. Ruggiero is going to be replaced by Theo. Milenkovic is coming on for Hisuki. He scored the goal, but so many players are booked. Essentially want to protect ourselves a little bit in that regards. So hopefully we can go there. So thoughts on Martinez possibly leaving Villa? It's a shame. It's a massive shame. I know there's a lot of talk about it being PSR related. I'd be keen to know whether it's entirely PSR related or whether part of it comes from the player as well, because he seemed, he's always been one of those players who says that he wanted to get Villa into the Champions League. He's done that. Maybe this is the point where he wants to start winning things regularly at a club level, and so that might drive it a little bit. But I just don't know in that regards. So it's a shame. It'll be sad to see him leave, but also, players come and go. It happens. I wish him all the best if he does leave, and hope that we get it right in terms of replacing him. RJ, FM doesn't include climate change. What? Evidently. Not the most convincing win, but a win is a win. After the highs of the 5-1 against Atalanta, that's maybe not quite as exciting, but that does put us... So, 57. If Lazio win their game in hand, we're still 4 points ahead of them. But no change in terms of the chasing. I've already said no to this before. So he sacks his agent, that's marvellous. Get these guys rested up, and Nico. How far away? We've got the Sociedad game. Neither of these players are going to be in there. Neither Wojciech. I think we will bring Benato back in. Theo back in. I'm going to give Nico the start. And possibly... yeah, Royer's going to get the start as well. So that should be fine for us, I think, hopefully. So Tyke, welcome in, my dude. Lovely to see you. Looking sharp, so you know how to flatter, bless you. How's the team performing? You wasn't following the Milan adventure recently. We've been so. We're on a reasonable run. We've won like all but one of our Serie A games in this year, in 2032. So we lost, but we did lose 6-1 to Napoli. We've won all the others. We did get knocked out of the Supercoppa Italiana fight and the Coppa Italiana, Coppa Italia. So it's been okay. We've had some questionable performances, but we're just about pushing through. Milenkovic gets an extension for appearing in 15 league games. That's fine, I suppose. Right, the crowd stadium sounds are on. Are they now? Thank you very much. Welcome in, Zen on FM. How are you, my dude? Lovely to see you. Love to see you. Liao 6.10. That's, I mean, yeah, part of the messing around with the formations. Liao, I found that when we've tried Liao out wide in that role in the past, it hasn't been great. But I do like him as a trequartista up front. And sometimes when we change during the course of a game, that's fine. So Night of Knee recovering from laryngitis. Oh, sorry to hear that. Still not speaking well, understandable. You're feeling silly that I didn't manage to see that anagram. I mean, that's the thing with anagrams. I tend to find that with anagrams, either you see it immediately or you don't see it at all. And then when it gets revealed, you just feel so like, But there's a TV show that's been running for like 400 years over in the UK called Countdown, which is a game show based around anagrams and math sums. And it just so happens that one of my friends was on Countdown, today and last Friday as well. I only found out about it on Thursday evening, watched it on Friday. Very, very proud. He scored the highest points in the series so far, which seems like quite a thing to be proud of for him to hide until the very last minute to mention he was even on the show. And so I've definitely got the anagram bug right now, that's for sure. So any news of Sampdoria's situation since you were well informed yesterday? I haven't seen any updates on the news. I just saw the article earlier on the Sunday that essentially the playoff got postponed, and it's all meant to be around this whole possibility of Brescia being docked points. So I don't know any more, unfortunately, at the moment. Right, let's head into the game. Up against 4-3-3 again. Let's head into that there. How's the XG treating you? We did beat Atalanta 5-1 in a game. Boom, yeah, we scored 5 from like 2 XG against Atalanta. Otherwise, we are once again underperforming, but that's kind of par for the course about now, right? So we've got FM Wonder Quid Udrago. in the Sociedad lineup here. Early highlight, Lenormand back to Rodriguez. Lenormand plays it into Samardzic. Another fine player there. Here's Yavi, finds Jokerej. Jokerej to Adrago, he's got to get it back. No, Adrago's going to take it on his own. Adrago forces the save from Caprile and behind for a corner. Let's fire these up. Welcome in that guy there. How you doing, my dude? How's your weekend? Both Glasner and Pep didn't wear suits to Wembley. They didn't. It was glorious. Glorious. Quadmo, it's our Sheffield-based friend. Who else would it have been? Who else would it have been, to be fair? Right, Fataru with the corner. Men is the target. Pellegrini gets there first. Golonja gets it clear, and Menya's going to be the one to gather. To Hisuki. Under pressure immediately. He has to go back, and now Theo down on the left. Can he get the ball in? He goes back to Royer. Royer takes a poke at it, and Rafael Leao, header at the far post, going over. Kwan's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you. Work is always stupid, isn't it? Bloody work. Thankfully, you haven't missed much, Kwan. I've been off for 10 days with fever, as you might be able to tell from the voice right now. It's not 100% still at the moment, but we're certainly doing better. Here comes Golonja. Down the right, Golonja inside to Adrago. He finds Samardzic, who takes aim from distance. Caprile was left rooted as the shot bounces off the bar and over. RJ, you can only do the maths sometimes or get like 5 letters max in that game, even in French. Exactly. I think I've got maybe a 9-letter word once in like 30 years. I'm usually pretty good at the maths, though, to be fair. That is kind of my strength. Right, Hisuki going all the way back to Caprile. Menia now. Time on the ball, can look up. Plays it to Royer. Royer now out to Theo. Theo cuts inside and goes back to Menia. What a good highlight this has been so far, but now Theo has a chance to run down the left. Theo gets it out from his feet, sends the ball in low. Fataru's shot hits the post, and Rafael Leao follows up. Oh, now, look at me now. I'm solving all my problems with Rafael Leao. Oh, Rafael Leao. Cool, there we 1-0. I don't know if we necessarily deserve that, to be honest. Yeah, we don't. Well, momentum's not everything. We've had as many shots. But we have struggled to get control on the ball, so we're going to say that we can step it up. And again, I'm going to swap to that 4-3-3. 3-4-3. I think that the trying to maintain that diamond is really, really difficult. But by having players in the attacking midfield slots, I think that they help us a little bit with maintaining possession. So we'll run with that. And see how we get on in the second half. This Sociedad does look OP. It is pretty damn good. Baronetio in there as well. Lenormand has to be getting on though now. Yeah, 35 years old. Ryan Ain't Nori, I didn't even notice Ain't Nori was there. Right, into the second half.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Let's see. Mania's going to come off. We're going to bring on De Feo. More young players out there. Donato and Leao. I might swap these two around. See what it's like having a right footer on the right wing there. And we'll bring Siklic into midfield. Let's just see if some fresh legs can help us a bit there. Our ball shares increased, but not by much. Just a smidge. Momentum has been all Sociedad, but we haven't seen any highlights. So we're going to drop down to positive. We're going to look to counter. Let's see if we can take advantage as they push forwards. We're going to bring on Kari. We're going to bring on Ruggieri. And that's our substitutes done. Siklic looking to make it 2-0. Reasonably easy save. Comfortable for Rodriguez in the end. Conway figured it would be him. That's great. Hope to see him at Monday Night Football soon too. Particularly as we're a man short tonight, if anyone is free. Symmetry will pretend to be free, but the wife has you shackled. That's fair. But it's not too far from Norway to Hertfordshire, indeed. Right, yeah, with that, I say a smash and grab. XG's pretty even, but we struggle to get the ball in many regards. So 1-0, we got to be happy with that. But there is plenty of scope for improvement. So let's get these guys rested up once more. And then our next game is against Catanzaro. So I think we will probably, like, Profundi's looking tired. Menia, we've had the news article about being tired there as well. So we'll bring back the first team, the players that we rested, but we'll try and rest those two potentially in that time. So, by the way, Brogan, thank you very much for the follow, and Lazy Stalas, very much appreciated. Welcome in, by the way. I do apologise. I am, as always, very, very far behind on chat. So look, one and a half hours by plane. Perfect. Crommo agrees that cake is a good bribe. I agree with you completely. And Kwan says the beard was protecting your chest and throat. Evidently. I mean, it does feel like I've been lurching from illness to illness since the beard went. So hopefully, as it grows back, we'll eventually be back on form. Is it 3 hours? It's only 6:20. Fair enough. Yeah, you can definitely make it, Zeratul. And good news is, granted, I haven't played with them for many years, but I did used to play that 5-a-side in the evening, and the quality is pretty damn low. It's pretty damn low, so you don't even need to be any good either. Rich is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Yes, Crudmo was timed out the other evening. Oh my word. Wait a second. Have Inter dropped points? Inter have just won 9-1, but they're 5 points ahead of us. They've now played a game more as well, so I think they've had a draw. They did. They drew away to Udinese, which is marvellous. So despite that, if we beat Catanzaro, we do close it down to 2 points, which would be very, very nice. Yep. There is time for a warm-up as well, Zeratul. So what have I done with Cromwell's little sword? I mean, I just haven't reinstated him as a mod because I forgot that timeouts take the mod's responsibilities away from him. So that'll be something that will be coming back. I'm the new Alan Sugar or even Donald Trump. Oh, that cuts right to the heart. Oh, that is cruel. That is cruel. So Zeratul went for chocolate cake as a bribe for the missus with as many artificial stuffs as possible. Nice. All you did was once defended myself from months of vicious Viking assault and I got fired. Crodmo threw shade at my beloved Zeratul, so I had to protect Zeratul. Had to protect him. It's a demolition job by Inter, wasn't it just, Yugit? Wasn't it just? At least wear protection next time, Lecce. I mean, they were definitely... look, you've got to assume that by entering the competition, it was at least consensual, but they were definitely bent over there, bless them. Bless them. So, Envy, welcome in. You have a question concerning this league and bringing in non-EU players. Does bringing in players under the age of 19 count towards this rule, or we can play them without registration? I believe that they count towards the rule. It is any players who are non-EU, and the number of players you have depends on you're allowed to bring in, depends on how many are in the squad, and there's exceptions for the first British player you sign, and it gets very confusing. But yes, I believe that you can only sign a certain amount. So if we pop to the rules, because it's a non-EU player. It's a transfer rule rather than a registration rule. So it doesn't matter the age, essentially. He's been on at me for ages. Blue team this and Everton that. And he's a bloody Man United fan. I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem. I mean, unfortunately, there's been too long that these awful Everton fans think they can get away with doing whatever they want, and they need to be put in their place. No apologies whatsoever. Like, Baleari was a player we're going to bring back in. We're going to put Ruggieri back into the starting lineup. Pardon me, it's Theo, Mena, Isuki. So I want to rest Mena as well. So actually, that will see us bring Siklic into midfield, Beraldo back into defence. Something like that, I think. Something like that, indeed. See, why do you care? You're a Liverpool fan. We all know this. There we go, Rich. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. See, this is why we have to time you out, because Crodmo would have banned you, and that's an abuse of power that's only afforded to dictators like me. Right, the fans expect to win. I'm telling you, you need to play well. So a win in this game will bring us within 2 points of Inter, which means we are guaranteed to lose. Guaranteed to lose. Musterman Sky 6 bias, free Crodmo. You're free. I've freed you of all responsibility, Crodmo, right? Do I mind going in the data hub 1 second? Sure, Quan. I mean, the game's just kicked off, so I'm quite happy to pop on over there. Let me know what you're looking for. Right, DM Base, in fairness, Everton shouldn't be punching down at small team United fans. Too much of an easy target. Exactly. So Envy, kind of confusing with transfers, why I'm afraid to play in this league, especially with the first transfer, and second when you need to sell someone to different league to have a spot. Indeed. Now, generally speaking, the way I would approach it is to try and avoid non-EU players as much as possible. Save those spots for very, very special players, so you don't have to try and overthink it at every stage. Right, okay, so come on, you've got a question pertaining to the high number of opposition passes per defensive action, high defensive line. Right, okie dokie. Now, this is something that I can't explain particularly well, but we can go, so I think it's pressing. So, opposition passes per defensive action should be a measure of how many passes your opponents have before you make a defensive action. That should be a tackle, an interception, a clearance, something along those lines, right? However, there are differences between different aggregators about where they start to measure that. Whether they measure it from in the opposition half or just in your own half and so forth. And it's not 100% clear how FM measures it. So often this tends to be very, very inaccurate. As you can see here, we've got a scale running between 4 and 6, whereas in real life you will see teams running between somewhere around 4.5 being the fewest opposition passes per defensive action, up to like 10, 11, 12. So all of this for me to say is that opposition passes per defensive action is kind of useless. So what we're generally speaking, you will find, or I have found, that if you have a very high press, you will tend to see this the wrong way round. And we can see it here as well. We're in a mid block. We're in a mid block, but apparently our opposition have around 4.5 passes per defensive action. The lower the number, the more active you are in pressing. We've also got a mid block, and yet our defensive line, we have been playing with a very high defensive line, to be fair. We were very high. We've dropped it to higher recently. So that's kind of probably in keeping with where we would expect to be. But because we run in a mid-block, we should actually expect our opposition to have more passes per defensive action than they actually do. And for this table to kind of be a little bit inverted. So generally speaking, I would ignore this in FM. Would be my very, very boring and not very helpful answer to you. So your Augsburg team seem to have the ball all the time, but it tells me the team are making a lot of passes against us. So yeah, the passes against you is always going to be, we can possibly, let's have a look at, what was that game where, what I would focus on is I would focus on things on a game by game basis rather than the stats there. So if we go to the heat map, we can see, we can see that they have most of the ball in deep places, which we can kind of understand, but they've also had a lot of it in this area here, which would be concerning for me. If you see that the opposition have a lot of the ball in your half, that's where I'd start to consider increasing pressing intensity, maybe adding a couple more players on to tackle harder, get them more willing to engage in those challenges. And now we do know that this is going to be partly affected by your tactical shape. So here we're going to struggle to apply pressure in the opposition half as it is anyway, because we have 7 players in the first 2 lines of our tactic. They're naturally going to be relatively deep before they even start engaging to begin with. So if you have a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-4 or something like that, your players are going to be in better positions to be able to then apply that pressure in deep areas. And that's your best way of countering the opposition having a lot of the ball deep. But obviously, the more players you can commit forwards, the more space you're creating in your own half. It's always a balancing act. I hope that helped. Right, Futari with the cross. It's cleared. Here's Nico from distance. Oh, what a goal. What a goal from Nico. Futari, it's cleared. It's cleared really nicely. The ball comes to Nico, takes a touch, and then just nurses it into the top corner. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So RJ's wondering, why do you keep getting these video recommendations on YouTube? The perfect tactic. This tactic will make you unbeaten forever. The monster, you will dominate. To be fair, I mean, it's a shall we be polite and call it a byproduct of Football Manager on YouTube. There isn't much diversity in types of content that you can do. You can play the game and talk about it. You can talk about tactics, and those tend to be the main videos. So once YouTube knows you likes FM, that's pretty much all you're going to get served up. The most popular videos are going to be ones around tactics. YouTube's going to say, this man likes FM. I'll show you all those videos. Cash22, thank you very, very much for the subscription. That is 5 months, which is absolutely crazy. Lots of things aren't working at the moment. My soundboard's not working, and it doesn't seem like the chat alerts aren't. So it's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How can you measure someone that could balance football on a needle in a wind tunnel? Incredible. So appreciated. Serrero goes for the equaliser. Canzara have had a couple of chances. They've had shitloads of chances. Right. This has been 11 shots from Catanzaro. That is shocking. And we've just won a penalty though, so we might go 2-0 up at half time, which feels thoroughly undeserved. So Crodno has claimed that Kevin Phillips was not very good. A bold take. Niall Quinn, big donkey. Raphael, we deserve that. We do not deserve to be 2-1 up. So for us to miss a penalty is kind of reasonable. Against their 4-2-3-1. We're going to the 4-3-3 again. Again, we're going to the 4-3-3. 3-4-3 even. Swap those guys around. Raphael's obviously got a poor rating, having picked up the missed the penalty. We're going to bring on Menya. Yeah, just the one change. Let's increase the tempo as well. Let's play with a little bit more urgency. So Zerachel, a proper one would be, how is it being born both British and never being able to win a final ever? I mean, that's a feeling for all of most of us British people, to be fair. Okay, feels like we've been a little bit better this second half. Momentum kind of still relatively even, but not as bad. Can we do something here? Ruggieri sends the ball over the top. Rafael Leao's in behind. Rafael Leao. Oh, he's got to come off, hasn't he? He's got to come off now. I mean, it was bad enough missing the penalty, but missing that chance. Oh, he's got to go. Oi, that's Irish big donkey about Niall Quinn. That's fair. That's fair. But that in an era where being a big donkey was quite good, as Malik Thior is our big donkey rising at the far post to make it 2-0. That'll do nicely. That'll do nicely. DMB, we put Erling Haaland in the National League. Yes, how he did it. Exactly. Exactly. So RJ, what's the point of plug and play tactics in FM? I mean, it's a fair question. A fair question. I mean, there are a lot of people. We've got to remember that FM is a very, very open game. There are lots and lots of different ways that Bonato can score to make it 3-0. Like, for example, he can wait for it to drop over the defender and then poke it with his right foot into the far corner. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that it's played, and for some people, they're not interested in the tactical side of things. They want to focus on buying awesome players. They want to focus more on that side of things. They want to win, and they want to do it with as easy as possible. So I get why it's popular. I get why for many of us, it's not what we necessarily would want to watch on YouTube, but that's the way that YouTube works, isn't it? A thing is popular, so it sends it to as many people as it can. Right, last change here will be, let's bring De Feo on as well. Not a lot of time. Let's just see this out. That's all that's been undeserved around here lately. Crudmo, you get everything that you deserve for sure. As for Taru, hits the underside of the bar. Bottom right of the clip, there's 3 vertical dots. Click to open menu. Not interested and don't recommend this channel. It's a weird one though, because I don't know how sophisticated the algorithm is. So, not saying don't recommend this channel. Definitely a good idea. The not interested one, I'm never felt comfortable with using, because sometimes I worry that it will take other things around a similar subject away from me. FM is a sandbox. Exactly. It can be played however you want. Indeed. Why not play FIFA if you don't like tactics? Graphics are better. But also, if you want to manage and you want to deal with like the money side of things, like transfers and director of football style, play style, you don't want FIFA for that. You don't want FIFA for that. As much as we are critical of some of the idiosyncrasies that might be contained within FM, the financial model is so much better. So I get it. I get it. Right. What I also get though, and I know this is going to be unpopular, or even more unpopular than it's currently been, is that I'm struggling. Like, there is absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. I am very, very much struggling. I think you can hear how the voice is going. There's been some moments that have been a little bit uncomfortable. So I don't think it's smart to carry on. I have a feeling I won't have a voice tomorrow if I carry on tonight. So I'm gonna finish early. I'm gonna finish much earlier than I wanted to. Where are we? We're definitely not getting through 3 more games. I was going to see if we could get to the end of the month, but no, we can't get through the end of the month. We've just started a new month. So I'm really, really sorry, guys. Firstly, thank you very much, everyone, for coming along this evening. But yeah, this definitely probably not quite well enough for this. So yeah, a huge thank you. Hopefully we should be back on Wednesday evening. It's Rowan on One's birthday, so it won't be an FM stream. If I'm streaming, it will be on Twitch only. We'll be playing Among Us, maybe some other party type games, and then hopefully back on Friday with the AC Milan save. But I think everything kind of depends a little bit around the throat, because this getting that. So YouTube, we're going to log off you guys first.